guitars. We've had a customer and a friend of mine, Josh Brown's guitar, come in. It's a Lowden, but we're making this video. You might not have watched any of our other videos, but if you want to install an LR Baggs Hifi Duet and you want to install one into a Lowden, then maybe this video will be helpful. Because like you, if you're clicking on this video and that's what you're looking for, that's what I try to Google, or that's what at least I try to search for on YouTube, and there aren't any videos. So we thought, what a perfect opportunity. We're learning to do one, to fit one on a Lowden. Why not make a video of it and show people the way that we did it? Hopefully it'll help them be installed. Because LR Baggs, great company, amazing pickups, but I don't think they necessarily thought of the string through bridge, you know, this style when they designed it. Yeah, and LR Baggs, even though it shows in their literature, they've got the Hifi Duet. They were, you know, accounting for the fact that you probably have a guitar that had bridge pins, 6 of them. So in the assembly, along with the plate that they give you, it's all for guitars with 6 bridge pins that are stuck into the table of the guitar, into the top. But obviously a Lowden, the strings pull through from the bridge. So we've had to come up with a different way of doing it. Now, I suppose there's a couple of different ways that we did discuss. I mean, you could buy sort of like a little camera and then sort of feel around and make sure that you stick them in the right place. But the LR Baggs do give you this jig, and it does come with this little jig.
Doesn't come with the guitar strings.
Doesn't come with the guitar strings. That's our modification, which I'll show in a moment. For the capsule and the microphone, all these bits. So these go here with this one in the middle. So these would go. These go here, and then with this one in the middle. But obviously, if there's nothing really to pull through, it's a bit difficult to do. Me, Norm and Jacob have all been sort of scratching our heads, wondering what to do and the best way to do it. Fortunately, or unfortunately, this guitar was previously installed with a LR Baggs Anthem. Now it wasn't installed properly because as you know, Lowden guitars, they come with split saddle bridges, so there are sort of like 2 saddles. Now this was drilled, and then basically
this one was drilled.
Yeah, this one was drilled.
Yeah.
This one was drilled, and then so was that side actually.
No, that's original.
Oh, is that original?
Yeah, has to be. Or how do you get the piezo into the rest of it? So the only hole that he drilled was that one there. So that's why we can do it, and why this works for all other Lowdens.
Okay.
Because these 2 are original.
Okay. Yeah. So this was drilled that really shouldn't have been. These are the original holes, which Lowden pre-drill for a piezo at some point, and then this one, basically, it was just snaked underneath. It's just a bodged way of doing it. LR Baggs sell split saddle Anthems. I haven't got one here. I'm installing another Anthem for another customer, but yeah. So that one was bought, and it shouldn't have been. It should have been the split saddle version, which I think is a little bit more money, but it's the correct.
If you're buying a Lowden, you can afford a split saddle Anthem.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, with that aside, we've been coming up with a couple of ideas, and then finally thought of different ways of doing it. Again, there was that idea of putting a camera in, which I might even purchase one and put one in later down the line. But we thought the same way that cleats are put in. So Norm modified this plate for us, and as you can see, I've attached some like 9 gauge, 10 gauge strings, which is obviously way thin enough, and it means that we can just pull it through. And that's the same way that a lot of luthiers, a lot of repair guys, they do cleats on guitars. You know, put the smallest hole in the top or the side or whatever, and then so a hole in the cleat, and I'm pulling the string through with some glue, pulling it tight, and then letting it set, and then just taking the string out after the fact. So that seemed like a good way to do it to me. Maybe post a comment telling me how I could have done it better, or maybe this can spark you off on the way to do it for your Lowden. This is the way that we're going to do it. Again, this is probably the first ever YouTube video that's ever been put up about these. These Hifi Duets have not been out very long. I think they've been out less than 12 months as I was recording this. So yeah, there might be someone out there that's attached one to a Lowden, but they haven't posted about it on the internet or posted a video. So with that, we're going to crack on with it. I've already added the jack socket. That's really easy, and it was easy for this guitar because it already had a Bags Anthem pre-installed into it, so I didn't have to remount the whole. It was very easy to install. If you need to know that, you can find that on the internet. There's loads of different people talking about how to attach barrel jacks into acoustic guitars. This is the main bit. So the way you want to do it is you want to install these ones first, because obviously this is taller. So you install the smaller ones first, then the tall capsule in the middle. I've taken some pictures of the underneath, which I can maybe put up on the screen, and you can see where the where this block lies in relation to the cross braces. Obviously, this is angled this way because it's trying to angle away from the cross braces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up between the B and the E string, and then here the E and the A string. So I'm going to line them up here with plenty of room. This is just a microphone capsule really, so this doesn't have to be, I don't think it has to be dead in line. I think these sensors need to be fairly central, but this can be a little bit further back. That shouldn't harm it at all, because it's picking up the resonance of the instrument and the volume, the sound of the instrument. It's not really picking up vibration. Okay, right. Let's see how much of this makes the edit. This could take a while. So I'm just going to do this slowly and carefully. This is not a cheap system to install. So best thing with things like this is just have a cup of water, have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, something like that. Just take your time. If you're installing it at home, or if you're installing it on your own guitar for a friend, even if you're installing it for a customer, it's always better to take these things a little bit slow. So these are the little gel pads that attach the bottom to the bottom of here. So let's line this up. So that's about there, that's about there. I want it to be probably around there. So again, in between the E and the E. What's the old saying, Jake? Cut once, cut twice,
measure twice.
Measure
cut
twice,
once.
Cut once. Cut once, cut once, I believe is the phrase.
Cut once, yeah.
Cut once, cut twice. By caramba. I sound like George Bush. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Shame on me again.
Can't fool me, because you won't fool me again. Now watch this drive. So there we go, they're in. I'm going to do a dummy run. So that'll go there. Again, if you look at that, that looks about right. Again, you're never going to be able to get this like exact. But don't take these sticky pads off yet. And they provide you with plenty of, so you can do a couple of different test runs. So the simple way of doing this is just to feed these wires through there, which can be annoying. But I came up with a little something recently. Here it is. I came up with a little something for pulling things through, which is basically I'm giving away all my tips, but that is just a bit of heat shrink. And so what you can do is you can just push a wire in or something like that, and that's like enough to be able to pull it through. So I'm not just
not just a pretty face.
Close. Not just a pretty face. I am also highly stupid. Right. So yeah, through here. And I'm going to be wanting that string on there. So again, this is just wide enough to go through like a pilot hole for a piezo or something like that. And then, not that one. Need this one. This wire is probably too long. I should have cut this down a little bit, but we'll be fine. So yeah, just push that in a little bit, and then, like Bob's your uncle, hey, there we go, comes through nice and easy. And then, second time round, just got to push that through. Then push this through here till it kind of sticks, and hopefully that should be the same thing. Yep, beautiful. So yeah,
wunderbar.
Use that for your whatever needs. Now, admittedly, I've talked with other people, and they said, why don't you just sort of feel around and then place it where you think it's about correct. And you could use sort of maybe strings as a guide, so you know vaguely where it is. But LR bags give you this, it's like a £500 system. It's going on like a £3,500, £4,000, £4,500, I don't know. Very expensive guitar.
Just do it properly.
LR bags have given you the stuff. It didn't take a lot of time to modify it. Probably took quite a few, a couple of hours to think about this stuff and chat it over. But it's the first time we're doing it. If I have to do it again, or when I have to do it again, I'll know how to do it nice and easy.
And now, dear viewer, so shall you.
And so shall you, yeah. So please, like, subscribe, follow. We've almost got as many followers as Mr. Beast, so, you can just hang on in there.
If you just add like 9 more zeros.
Yeah. No. If he adds 9 more zeros. There we go. So that should be.
Does it
test fit? That
goes in line with the X bracing, I take it.
Yeah, it does slightly touch the X brace on one of the sides, on the side closest towards me.
That's right. I can touch the X bracing. That's fine.
Yeah, just as long as it's. I will edit this video that I do it first time anyway, so you'll never know. Right, that seems about right to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sticky pads off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, well, one of the sticky pads has failed actually. So that's good to know, because if the very small ones, as you can see here, this one's come loose. If these are nice and easy to come off, which is what you want, then it means these should stick on, and I should be able to take the plate off very, very easily. It should just stay on there for as long as I need, which is not long at all. So let's give it a go. Just make sure that is kind of is on there a bit, because it needs to travel along to it. You got to try not to just throw those on the floor. Try not to get these anywhere near anything. Right, so I'll put that back in there. Pull this up to where it needs to be. I'm just going to pull up on that for a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Because you want them to be nice and stuck down. We don't want them to come off. And you've got to give them a bit of time to adhere. I think about 30 seconds is enough. I don't want to just put them on and then. And you want to pull it up like a fair amount. at the end of the day, these are, while I'm pulling on that, I'll show you. These are supposedly screwed into place. If you look at that, so I'm guessing they want like a little bit of pressure, so they adhere. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pull on these strings.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. Okay. Moment of truth. You want to try? I'll just try to take the plate off.
So the beauty is you don't even have to take the strings back out.
Hey, there we go. Look at that. No, don't even have to take the strings back out. Yeah. There we go. Done.
First one.
Yeah, well, the first one. Yeah.
That's
so
all.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my phone and then take a picture, double check. Okay, so here is how it would look when it's fully done. If you can see, that's how it looks inside. So yeah, it works really well. As you can see on this display picture, you want them on either side and you want them kind of equally spaced. Obviously this is on maybe a Martin or something. You know, all guitars have different bracing patterns, and they have, as you can see, this is a certain thickness. On a Lowden it's like this, but the only thing that I've done slightly differently, which wasn't intentional, was put the wires the other way, which I really don't think it's going to matter. As long as we can cable tie it and manage it, it should look great. So that's what it looks like underneath at the moment. That's what it's going to look like once we do the next part. Again, this is the flat that's going to attach. So those where the other two were. So I'm going to try and put it just slightly further back, just to clear it. I'm going to try, and you want it again in the middle. So that was that side. That was that side. Yeah, there's like a center line here. I think that looks about right. Okay, let's try there. Little test run first. I don't want to mess up what we've already done, because that would be silly. I can see, I can hear the comments now. Oh, he's got his chain on, bracelet on, and it might damage the guitar. If you just look in there real quick, you see those little dark spots? You see those little dark spots?
Mm-hmm.
That's blood, that is. I wouldn't worry about it. It's a giggy musician's guitar. It's not precious. It's not owned by a dentist. Right.
It's owned by Josh, who uses his instrument.
He plays live, and he's an incredible musician and singer. Yeah. So yeah, don't worry. It'll be absolutely fine. Right. That seems about right, but it's hard to deduce because I can't really feel the other two things, because this is slightly taller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that in place, and then I'm going to take a picture and just double check. This is all pretty logical stuff. I'm sure most people will be like, yeah, I can do that, and maybe no one watches this video because it's all pretty self-explanatory, but we thought we'd try and help people out, you know. Thought, why not double check, do something that might help some folks out.
Moment of truth.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, it's a little bit further back, but it's not interfering with these, which is the most important thing. You know, I don't think that it matters that they're not all completely in line. This is a microphone capsule at the end of the day. I could maybe move it slightly forward, but it is nice and away from the other two sensors. Right. Okay, good luck everybody. Okay. Nice clean sticky pad. And put that in there. And then I'm going to try to just leave it placed on the bottom. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to add my phone so I can kind of see what I'm doing, or at least it'll give me a bit more of an idea of what's going on. Okay, right. Now let me grab 2. Right. Okay. Now. Gotta make sure that it's nice and flat and stable. Yeah, it's not flat for some reason. Okay, let's pull that up slightly. And make sure I don't favour one side too much. Okay, yeah, I've kept that on. That's like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that works. Yes, okay, cool. Yes. Ah, there we go. So, the 2 sticky pads were kept on the other one, but obviously the capsule has kept that on there. I'm sure I might pick that off in a minute. I don't really think it matters if it's there. Yeah, that's worked. Amazing. Okay. Right, first one done. So yeah, I can take these strings away because I don't need to put anything else up there. And I just need to do some cable management now. So a bit of cable management and then just adding that in. It's already got a battery terminal on the neck block. So yeah, that should work. That should be nice and easy. Okay, what I'll do is I'll put the other bits together and then we'll go out the... Hi guys, this is a couple of days later. The Hifi Duet system's all together and put into the Lowden. I've done a little bit of cable management. We've plugged it into a Black Star Sonnet 120. And we're just going to do a little bit of a demo. I'll just do some finger picking and some chords just so you can hear it. It won't be any of the sort of natural guitar, it'll all be what's coming through here, which obviously that's what we're sort of showing off. Obviously this video was more about how to install one into a Lowden, which this is probably the first video on the internet. There you go. What a crowning achievement. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to just play it pretty much a flat EQ. We've boosted the lows a little bit. This is about middle on the tone setting. Yeah, here we go.